It is an absolute unfortunate situation, and there's more to the story that you're not getting. But when the time comes, I will explain it in greater detail. I'm not authorized to talk about the whole thing. I'm not going to give you any more information. This will be in the hands of Jesus. Everything will be okay. I will get this sorted out.
Guys, today we are talking about what has got to be the most disturbing internet happening I have ever talked about on this channel. This is a very real world, real life consequence kind of thing, so if you're looking for like a lighthearted video today, this one is probably not for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen a lot of people do a lot of insane shit on this channel while they were live streaming. And I think a big part of that is because compared to making something like a YouTube video or a TikTok, or even just like tweeting something out, obviously when you're live streaming, you don't get that moment where you're like, okay, maybe I should edit that out, maybe I shouldn't post that. You know, you don't get that moment to like edit or review. When you're live streaming, you're basically just posting stuff as you say it. And I think that leads to a lot of things ending up on the internet that if they were being filmed traditionally, they wouldn't have. Things that people say or do in the heat of the moment, you know, knee-jerk reactions people have, that if they had an extra second to think about it, they'd be like, fuck that, I don't want that on the internet forever. Stuff like, for example, basically admitting to your entire audience while you're live streaming that you just committed a double murder. Yeah, guys, what we're looking at today is really like nothing else we've ever seen before on this channel. This YouTuber you're seeing in the background, VinnyBat118, is facing first-degree murder charges after he allegedly struck and killed two girls that, according to reports, one of he had been stalking for months. The two girls were two 17-year-old friends named Maria Niotis and Isabella Salas, and last Monday they were struck by a vehicle believed to have been driven by this guy in the background, Vincent Battiloro. Now obviously that alone is terrible enough, but this whole thing sort of becomes surreal when you take into account that the following nights, this guy went live and basically confessed to doing this. And what makes this even worse is, I'm assuming because of like local talk and word spreading, because people knew that this guy and these two girls had a history, and I'm assuming they also pieced together that it was his car, people who knew these girls were in the live stream asking, why did you do this? And this guy's acting like it's the most casual live stream of his life. Like if you couldn't understand English, you would think this guy was just having a normal conversation. He doesn't seem disturbed or nervous or even just like slightly inconvenienced or anything. He's just talking like it's any other day. It's very disturbing, but I think you should see some of it just for more context before we dive deeper into what we know right now. The re-upload I was able to find is about 22 minutes long. We're not going to be watching the entire thing, but there are a few key moments that I think you should see. So that being said, let's begin.
What's going on, everybody? We're back with another stream, and this one is going to be a little bit different than the previous ones because I have some things that I want. I'll get to, if you let me talk, I'll get to it in a minute. So we're live, we're playing co-op. We have Evan right here. What's up? How are you doing?
Pretty good, man.
So this is obviously the very beginning of the stream, and I think this just really goes to show the sort of mindset this guy is in. I mean, obviously everything's alleged here, but based off the way things look, the night before this guy went out and committed a double murder. And the next night, he's doing a live stream to admit that, but to him, it's still like a normal stream. He has his friend on to play co-op at the show. Like, what the fuck?
I don't need negativity in this stream, so everybody's getting timed out. I'll explain what happened, but I'm not going to do it with people.
Two girls.
Okay, you know what? Now I'm really thinking if I should really do this.
So you can see the chat in the bottom right corner, and I mean, it's just almost like incomprehensible. As the chatters are pointing out, this guy is talking about how he doesn't want to hear negativity after he killed two people. Like, there is something seriously wrong with this guy, and while things are obviously alleged, I feel like if somebody's accusing you of murdering somebody, and you're not like, no, I didn't kill another human being, that kind of speaks for itself. I hope this guy gets tried as an adult.
Let me explain something real quick before I get the stream going. The more you guys engage in the chat, the more you give me engagement, and I get paid for YouTube.
I'm not one of them.
Just letting you all know.
I'm not trying to armchair this, but this guy seems genuinely fucking insane. Like, what are you expecting, going live to a welcome, warm audience to explain how you killed two innocent people? Like, genuinely, what did this idiot expect? For people not to say anything? For people to applaud him? Like, I don't understand. To be like, oh, you're giving me engagement. What are you talking about, dude? What do you expect people to do in a situation like this?
Rip Isabel and Maria,
I may not even start this, I'm not gonna lie.
Run it to KRQ.
I may not start this. I may not do this stream.
Pain in my dead broken heart.
I may not even do this.
Jesus Christ, what a worthless human. This man-child is somehow trying to make himself the victim here. Like, seriously, I'm gonna say it again. I don't understand what he was expecting. What was he expecting the reaction to be for this? Did he expect people to just say nothing?
Now that I got that figured out, I'm gonna finally explain this whole situation, but I need to explain some things that have happened over the past few days. And I'm not gonna talk much about it. In a neighboring town, unfortunately, 2 girls were killed in a hit-and-run crash. Now, there has been a lot of misinformation going on over the internet. But I will say this. I wish my sincerest condolences to those 2 girls lost in that tragic accident. Okay? It is an absolute unfortunate situation, and there's more to the story that you're not getting. But when the time comes, I will explain it in greater detail. I'm not authorized to talk about the whole thing. I'm not going to give you any more information, but I will say this, okay? Making threats against my family will not be tolerated.
Okay, so I wanted to let that play out because it was a bit of a monologue, but again, while everything is alleged here, it seems very, very strange to me that if this was truly an accident and was something you had absolutely nothing to do with, that you would go onto a live stream and be like, there's more to the story that you don't know about. Oh, and by the way, threats against my family will not be tolerated. Like, what the fuck? Based off the news articles I've read, this guy's uncle or some other relative is the chief of police in a neighboring town. I can't imagine the heart attack that guy had while watching this. This guy has basically said everything except I did it.
If you don't see me streaming for a little bit, you'll understand why. This will be in the hands of Jesus. Everything will be okay. I will get this sorted out. I've been bullied, ridiculed, and stuff over false allegations, okay? Over this whole thing about things that have happened in the past. There's more to this story. It'll come out in the future. Okay? I'm going to let you all know this right now. I don't plan to go anywhere anytime soon regarding streaming. If I do end up taking a hiatus, I'm telling you guys why.
So again, I just don't really feel like these are the words of somebody who is under the impression that this was just an accident. Like, why would you, a completely unrelated third party, have any more information to share that you can't share right now about a tragedy, about a freak accident? Like, I really don't know what this guy thinks he's doing. I'm sort of gathering from the way he's handling this that he might not be the smartest person. I don't really feel like there's any other way to frame that. He's clearly trying to be cryptic, but again, if it was just a tragedy, if it's just something you heard of in the news, why would there be more to the story? And more importantly, why would you know what that is? Also, in the same vein, why would there be a possibility that you're going to be taking a hiatus? If you had nothing to do with this, why would you be involved whatsoever? Like, just nothing this guy is saying makes any sense. And then obviously he gets into the shit about how he's been bullied, and like, sure, maybe that's a possibility, but this guy in the past has talked a lot about these girls in very negative ways. He's done a stream where like he pranked them, sending pizzas to their house, talked about getting vengeance on them, and from what I can tell based off what I read, he wanted vengeance because Maria filed a restraining order against him. Like, sure, yeah, there's a chance this guy was bullied, but based off the way this guy behaves, I'm gonna assume it wasn't actually bullying, it was just people calling him out for his shit. Anyways, that's pretty much what's important from the stream. The rest of it is just how he wants to continue making memories with his friend doing this, and I'm kind of curious as to whether or not this Evan guy knew what was going down, or if this was kind of just dumped on him all at once, because I can't imagine any sane person being like, yeah, we can live stream even though you just committed murder. This is just an extremely strange situation all around. Like I mentioned earlier, he's currently been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. He also received 15 different traffic citations, and he is currently in custody. I really hope for the sake of the families that this trial is done quickly and cleanly. I sincerely hope they try this piece of shit as an adult. I'm sure they will. It always makes me a little nervous when stuff like this happens and the person being accused or charged with something has connections, like their uncle being the chief of police. police. I feel like this is obviously something a little bit too big for that to hold too much influence over, but you never know. So I figure the more eyes on this, the better, because this moron does not deserve to be walking around with the rest of us. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I said, obviously everything is alleged right now, but the way this guy behaves, the way this guy was talking about all this, I don't see a reality where he does not end up being found guilty. You just don't behave like this unless you've done something. You just don't. Like, this sort of behavior is just really not explainable in any other way. I don't see this going well for this guy. Deservedly so. Like I said, I hope everything that these families are facing in the future goes as smoothly and as cleanly as it possibly can for them. This is just a horrific situation, and I hope justice is served, and I hope it's served quickly. See ya.